Hey, what's up, YouTube? Houston here. Now, I've been telling you guys that with the credit bureaus, they discriminate against communities, poor communities, okay? And so I want you all to really pay attention to what I'm gonna share with you. All right, you see the headline here, right? Experian incorrect residential information. It's a $22 million lawsuit. All right. And what it was is that they were misclassifying, they were straight up misclassifying people's addresses, okay? And they was also coding like if you stay in a high risk, if you stay in a high risk community, like with gunshots, high crime community or whatever, they will code it. So then when lenders, they go to like go give you a loan or something like that, or car insurance or something like that, by them giving that information out, coding that information, what it does, it ends up making you disqualified for like loans and stuff like that. And so they're being sued on it. It was 22.4 million. But this is something I've been saying for years, and I've been telling you all that your demographics makes a difference. Like, okay, so here it is. Like, people are familiar with Beverly Hills, right? But Century City has higher credit scores and more money than Beverly Hills. But Beverly Hills is more popular, right? So when you have those type of demographics and when you're going to get a loan, just using those as an example, when you go to get a loan or whatever, um, sometimes it's beneficial to go with Century City instead of Beverly Hills. Okay, now that's just a small example, but this is something that raises an eyebrow because I've been telling people that they will code your file if you stay in a high risk area. One lady, her situation was that she missed out on a mortgage because they classified her home address as a business. But this is so interesting. So let's go through this so you can understand. I'm not going to read it step by step, but you all can see what I'm showing you. See right here where it says these codes, where the report contained an inaccurate fraud shield indicator. Okay. Report contained inaccurate fraud shield indicator. Okay. Indicating that the consumer address was either high risk or non-residential. Okay. So it's misclassifying people's addresses and stuff like that. And this is so important because a lot of people end up missing out on funding. Now, I know some people may ask me, well, what about trying to get business credit funding? Here's the thing about it. All right, with business credit funding. Remember, I continue to tell you guys to use your home address. The reason I tell you to use your home address instead of like those virtual addresses is because the virtual addresses have been recycled so many times, okay? And because they've been recycled so many times, if you use that virtual address to open up your business, okay, and the person before you had creditors and stuff at that address, what it could happen, and this has happened, creditors, once you start using that address, creditors will start putting their phantom debt on your business credit file. Now you have to go back and clean it up. So that's the reason that I'm telling you this, guys. It's better to use your home address. But coming back to this here, you can see how they actually discriminate. You can be a block away, even on jobs and stuff, with the new software and stuff, to see if a person's qualified. Like, say that you in a high risk community, right? You have a 750, 800 credit score. you have a college degree, but because you're in a high risk community, and say that, let's say Amazon, okay, let's say Amazon decided they're going to um, put a hub, all right, put a warehouse in the middle of the hood, right? Then they have software that says anybody within this here zip code, okay, within this zip code, we do not want to hire them. Now, you may meet all the qualifications, but because of your zip code, you can end up being disqualified. This is what's happening that most people aren't talking about. And I'm glad that they brought this out in the media, how like even with the credit bureaus, excuse me, one of my assistants, with the credit bureaus, how they misclassify you, okay? Because this does actually end up costing you the opportunity to get higher limit credit cards and stuff. Like where I stay at, it's totally different from where my address is at, because I'm like, okay, me having that address in a more popular area, and I know a more affluent area, I'll get more money. And that's how it is. Like people over in Scottsdale, right? And then there's people over in Phoenix. Well, you may stay in Phoenix, but if you go over to Scottsdale and open up your bank account or apply for a credit card, you may get a higher credit limit versus if you was in Phoenix. It's just the demographics of how things are, you know. But in reference to your business, you definitely want to use your home address. If you need to use a mailbox address, then use a mailbox address. But make sure you have that home address as your primary address, okay? That's what the banks are looking for. Now, explaining what this Experian fraud shell helps identify high-risk characteristics such as unverified information, potential fraud identities, and more, okay? This is something that's very important because by them putting this here 10, 11, 16, and 17, these numbers really make a difference in terms of if you're going to get approved for credit or not. Now, I also told you, like they have the letters. They have codings on letters, and on the paper, and on the ink. So whenever you're trying to dispute anything with the credit bureaus and stuff, they have certain code numbers that they classify. So that's the reason I tell you, when you do things electronically, you throw away your rights. That's the reason you should do everything manually and make sure it's certified mail return receipt. All right. What I'll do, I'll put the link below so you can check out this here article. But I think now you all would understand how important it is not only to monitor your credit, but to make sure that those data feeders are actually putting in accurate information. So you know how when you want to change your address and stuff, and you call a fraud department to get your address changed. All right. So this is Houston with three-way funding. I just wanted to point this out because I think it's very important that people know that sometimes you may get a denial just because the credit bureaus have misclassified you know, your address. And so things like that can really put a financial burden on a lot of people and miss out on things. All right. So this is Houston with three-way funding. If you have any other question about business credit, personal credit, click the link in the description. Thank you.